Good morning, I'm Dr. Paul. I'll be talking about pressure in fluids. We encounter pressure every day without noticing it. When you pump air into a bicycle tire, when you feel the force of the wind against you, or when you simply stand on the floor. In each case, something is exerting a force over a certain area. Pressure is simply a measure of how concentrated that force is. Supposing you apply a force perpendicularly on an area A of the object shown, the pressure P is exerted on the object by the arrowhead. Force and area is involved in pressure, but the force must act perpendicularly to the area you are considering. This is simply the perpendicular force per unit area acting on a surface. Pressure is equal to force over area. Pressure is a scalar quantity, meaning it has magnitude but no direction. Let's take an example. In a hydraulic press, a force of 200 Newton is applied to a piston of area 0.2 meters squared. If the area of the other piston is 2 meters squared, calculate the force exerted on it. So in a hydraulic press, the pressure is transmitted equally throughout the fluid. Therefore, the pressure on the first piston is equal to the pressure on the second piston. From pressure equal to force over area, the first pressure, P1, is equal to F1 over A1, which is equal to 20 Newton over 0.2 meters per second. This will give you 100 Newton per meter squared. Second pressure is P2 equal to F2 over A2. So since P1 is equal to P2, that means your P2 will be 100 Newton equal to F2 over 2 meters squared. So when you solve for F2, you get 100 Newton per meter squared times 2 meters squared, which will give you 200 Newton. Therefore, the force exerted on the other piston is 200 Newton. The pressure exerted by a force on a portion of a wall 0.5 meters squared is 100 Pascal. Calculate the force if it acts perpendicular to the wall. So pressure is equal to force over area, while force will give you pressure multiplied by area. When you substitute the parameters, you get 100 times 0.5, which is going to give you 50 Newton. The third example, calculate the pressure exerted on the ground by a person weighing 70 kg, whose 2 feet cover an area of 400 cm squared. If the man standing on 1 foot, what is the new pressure he exerts on the ground? From pressure equal to force over area, force due to the weight of the person is given by F equal to mg, that is 70 times 10, which is 700 Newton, where g is 10 meters per second. Area covered by the 2 feet is equal to 400 cm squared or 0.04 meters squared. So pressure based on 2 feet is equal to force over area, which is 700 divided by 0.04, which will give you 17.5 times 10 raised to power 3 Newton per meter squared. So if the person stands on 1 foot, the area will be halved. That is 0.04 divided by 2, which is going to give you 0.02. So pressure, if the person stands on 1 foot, is going to be 700 divided by 0.02, which is going to give you 35 times 10 raised to power minus 3. Therefore, the pressure is twice as much. In conclusion, let's look at pressure in real life scenario. Imagine trying to push a thumbtack into a wooden board with same amount of force in 2 ways. The first way is pushing with pointed end. When you press down on the head of the thumbtack, the force you apply is concentrated on the very tiny area of the sharp point. This small area results in a very high pressure at the tip, allowing it to pierce the wood relatively easily. Second scenario is trying to push with the flat head of the thumbtack. Imagine trying to push the thumbtack into the wood by placing the flat, wider head against the wood and applying the same amount of force. You will find it much harder, if not possible, to make it go in. This is because same force is now spread over a much larger area of the flat head, resulting in a much lower pressure on the wood's surface. The constant force you apply results in a high pressure when acting on a small area, the point, and a lower pressure when acting on a larger area, the head. Thank you. Follow, like, and share.